On this video, I want to show you guys what we have been working on for weeks now, trying to get this figured out. And this is going to be how the transmission hopefully locks up going down the racetrack, but still keeping the truck where it's drivable on the street. We need to have alternative ways for lockup to happen. And walk around the other side, and I will show you what we got going on. So we've built quite a bit of bracketry on the throttle pedal. It has several micro switches on it. We've got power running over to a small box on the ground, which is a delay box. I do not know if you can see that delay box. I'm gonna try to move you over here. That little green box down there with the wires going into it is a delay box. And hopefully I set this down again where you can see the shifter while I'm on the other side here. So when we're operating the truck with the shifter here, we got two buttons, trans brake here and lockup right here. We need to be able to put the truck in lockup when we're driving it on the road. So we're gonna act like the vehicle's on. That arms the delay box. We get power straight through. See how the light come on now? So we've got power to the delay box, but there's a switch down there that's broken, so we don't have lockups to the transmission right now. So we're driving the truck, first gear, second gear, and I want lockup. I'm gonna flip a switch and our light comes on. We stay locked up in third and fourth gear. I can click it out of lockup and do what I wanna do. Well, what if we're drag racing, okay? I wanna take as many movements out of what I have to do as possible to become as consistent as possible. So when we do that way, see, lockup is now off. The shifter is not working. What happens here is we come off all these things right here and we go wide open throttle, and this is on a timer. So here we go, wide open throttle. The race starts and wham, to the floor. 1, 2, click, lockup happens. And when I get off the throttle, it's gonna reset, but now my switch isn't made. So even though the timer box is actually armed right now, the switch on the throttle pedal isn't closed, so we're not actually throwing power to the lockup solenoid in the transmission. But what this allows me to do is go wide open throttle and shift gears and have lockup happen exactly at the same time. So wide open throttle, 1, 2, lockup, 3, race is over. We get off, downshift, do our thing. We're now locked up, whatever. Get done with the races, want to go to McDonald's, we can go drive one and just, partial throttle. 1, 2, 3, lock up, overdrive, cruising, and we can do our thing, cruise. But when we're wide open throttle, it's on a timer hitting at the exact same time every time. Wide open throttle, 1, 2, bam, and shifting gears. That has taken a tremendous amount of work to get set up where it actually not only functions in theory on the workbench, but functions in the pickup truck. This has been very time consuming with a lot of thinking how to make this all work, how to build the bracketry on the throttle pedals, how to get the micro switches set up. One micro switch has to be an off-on-off, which doesn't exist. So I had to modify a switch to do that. Hopefully that switch has a decent service life because it's ugly inside. But I needed a very quick acting off-on-off, which is what arms that delay box. You can't leave it on. It has to be an off-on-off, like a push button, like the trans brake. It's on or it's off, and you have to click it very quickly. That happens at the end of my throttle now because of that switch we modified. So hopefully you guys find that entertaining. I hope very much that this works. I think this is going to be very, very game changing as far as how consistent this truck is, because I don't have to worry about, without something like this, we've got to shift 1, 2, 1, 2, lock up, whatever, which is very, very doable, and we'll have the ability to do that if the delay box isn't working. But what this does is I've got to come off the trans brake, I've got to shift, I got to think in my head when to click the button, and then we got to get the next gear. So I'm trying to take all the inconsistencies out of me being nervous as the driver muscling this thing down the track, and the truck just does its thing. All I've got to do is make it go straight, shift gears. That's what we're after, guys.